You know the stories, right? If you're into the paranormal, you've definitely stumbled upon the legend of Bhangarh Fort. It's absolutely famous across the globe. Tourists crowd the place during the day, but literally no one is allowed inside after sunset. The classic lore talks about a cursed dark tantric and a doomed royal city. But what if I told you that the terrifying screams people claim to hear echoing from those ruins today might not belong to who you think they do? Do you know the real reason behind the infamous haunting of Bhangarh Fort?
Welcome, everyone. In today's Explainer, we're unpacking a truly chilling story of dark magic, centuries-old curses, and ancient traps. We're going to break down this incredibly detailed, frankly terrifying account of a man who thought he could somehow control the dark forces of Bhangarh and the horrifying reality he uncovered instead. Get ready, because this one is wild. Section 1, the centuries-old cursed box. Unearthing the horror.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this setting. We're deep in a forest in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. A group of laborers had been hired to dig near this old, completely desolate mansion, and the atmosphere is just incredibly ominous. Dark clouds are gathering, a severe thunderstorm is looming, classic horror movie setup. The laborers are terrified, they want to stop, but this guy, a man named Arjun, absolutely insists they keep going. Suddenly, a shovel strikes something hard. They clear away the dirt and pull out this ancient, rusted iron box. And the very second this box is unearthed, the storm totally breaks. The laborers are completely spooked and just flee for their lives. But Arjun, he stays behind, laughing like an absolute maniac. So he takes this box inside the ruined mansion. And right away you can tell this is no ordinary box. After brushing away centuries of dirt, a horrifying sigil is revealed. It's a bloody fire completely surrounded by snakes, and right below it, a single terrifying name, Singya. According to the lore, the mere utterance of this name by Arjun caused an immediate supernatural reaction. Every single candle in that ruined mansion blew out instantly, plunging the room into pitch darkness. And then, the sound of a creeping, disembodied laughter started echoing off the walls. And this brilliantly illustrates the dark path Arjun was choosing. When he finally forces the lock open, the smell of rotting flesh just fills the air. Inside the box lies a black cloth stained with centuries-old dried blood. There are these small vials filled with mysterious dark ash, and a completely grotesque amulet crafted entirely out of bones. But the real prize, the whole reason he was digging, an ancient black book bound tightly by a red thread. This was a legendary grimoire of dark magic, and Arjun knew exactly what he was holding.
Section 2, Tantric Singya's Dark Truth, the Doomed Tantric.
Now we need to talk about who Singya actually was. He wasn't just some myth. In this lore, he was a historically defeated, incredibly powerful practitioner of dark magic, a tantric. Legend says he became obsessed with the beautiful Princess Ratnavati of Bhangarh. To possess her, he attempted to use black magic to enchant her perfume. But the princess was smart. She saw right through his trick and smashed the perfume bottle against a boulder. Well, the dark magic backfired terribly, crushing Singya. As he died, he cursed the entire kingdom of Bhangarh to ruin, and because of his own dark arts, his soul became permanently trapped within the fort's stone walls. So while the established lore paints Singya as this evil, power-hungry guy destroyed by his own arrogance, Arjun had a totally twisted obsession with him. He actually believed Singya was his ancestor. He saw him as a misunderstood genius of dark magic. Arjun was convinced that his family had been forced into hiding in shame for centuries, and his ultimate goal was to use that black book to resurrect Singya so they could rule Rajasthan together. I mean, have you ever seen ambition just completely blind someone to such obvious mortal danger? Enter Rohit. Rohit is the voice of reason here, desperately warning his friend. He literally tells him, "This Bhangarh Tantra, Singya's trapped soul, this is not a game." He tries everything to pull Arjun back from the brink, reminding him that Singya was a madman who brought down an entire city. But Arjun violently rejects the warning. He's totally in denial, claiming Singya only lost because of a fatal flaw, falling for a woman. From there, the countdown to disaster is shockingly brief. Just 5 days before Amavasya, which is the pitch-black night of the new moon, Arjun discovers the specific soul-awakening ritual in the book. With only 3 days left, Rohit delivers his final, desperate warning. He finds Arjun completely starved, sleep-deprived, dark circles under his eyes, just consumed by this dark energy. And finally, we reach Amavasya night. The moon vanishes, and Arjun makes his terrifying descent into the ruins of Bhangarh Fort.
Section 3. Soul Awakening. Ritual in Bhangarh.
Now, what's really interesting about this dark magic is how methodical it is. The ancient book laid out specific rules. Arjun had to follow 4 exact steps. First, he had to enter the fort specifically on the new moon night. Second, he had to offer fresh blood to the trapped soul. Third, he had to light ceremonial fires in all 4 directions. And finally, he had to recite the ultimate awakening mantra.
The atmosphere is just terrifying. As Arjun executes these steps, the environment reacts violently. The heavy, broken wooden doors of the fort screech open entirely on their own. A freezing, bone-chilling wind sweeps through the ruins. But Arjun? Totally undeterred. He moves to the center courtyard and draws a massive red tantric circle on the ground. He lights the fires. Then, taking a blade, he literally slices his own palm, letting his blood drip onto the cursed soil. Above him, a swarm of bats erupts into an absolute frenzy. The earth literally begins to shake as he starts chanting Om Shri Kali Bhairavai Nama. The air fills with thick, dark smoke, and the fires flare up wildly. Arjun's voice deepens. It sounds almost as if 2 people are speaking from his throat at once. He opens the black book to the very last page, drips his blood directly into the center of the circle, and screams the final, fateful mantra, Om Kal Bhairav Preet Samagacha, Atma Muktai Swaha, the ultimate command to free the trapped soul. The moment those words leave his lips, an earth-shattering roar echoes through the fort, and the fires instantly extinguish, plunging him into absolute, suffocating blackness. Section 4. The King's Laid Trap, a Fatal Deception. Out of that pitch-black darkness, the deafening screams of hundreds of tormented souls erupt all at once. The air turns toxic with this thick black smoke. Suddenly, Arjun just drops to his knees. His body begins to burn with an agonizing heat, and his limbs start twisting unnaturally, like his bones are literally turning to rubber. Through the smoke, a figure finally materializes in front of him. But wait, it's not the dark tantric Singya. It is a massive, furious spirit, dressed in royal attire, wearing a crown. It's the ancient king of Bhangarh himself. So the crucial point here is the massive disconnect between what Arjun thought was happening and the horrifying reality. Arjun completely expected that he had followed the book flawlessly, that he was about to resurrect his ancestor and gain ultimate dark power. But the truth? He hadn't resurrected Singaya at all. By performing that specific ritual, Arjun had actually activated an ancient, dormant, self-destruct trap laid by the king centuries ago. The ancient king looks down at a screaming Arjun and reveals this brilliant, but entirely horrifying deception. Centuries ago, after Singya died, the king and his royal priest knew human nature. They knew that greed would eventually drive someone to try and bring the dark tantric back. So they hunted down Singya's black book. They destroyed the real resurrection ritual and planted a fake one right in its place. The ritual Arjun just performed, it was never meant to free a soul. It was a binding spell designed to permanently trap whoever cast it, sacrificing them to the fort forever. Section 5. Scream in the Walls, Arjun's Doom. As Arjun begs for his life, the ground around him literally turns to darkness. Hundreds of spectral black hands erupt from the soil. They grab Arjun by his twisting legs and begin dragging his screaming body toward the ancient stone walls of the fort. As he's being pulled away, he looks up and sees a shadow with glowing red eyes on the balcony above. It's Singya, still permanently trapped, just watching his descendant die. In seconds, Arjun is pulled violently into the solid stone, permanently absorbed into the cursed architecture of Bhangarh Fort. And then, nothing. Just silence. The horrific storm vanishes in an absolute instant. The wind dies down. The fort falls completely silent once again. In the days that followed, local authorities and townsfolk conducted extensive searches. But no trace of Arjun, his book, or his iron box was ever found. The earth had completely swallowed his ambition. Which leaves us with a truly chilling final thought. Today, locals and tourists who venture too close to Bhangarh Fort after sunset still report hearing horrifying, agonizing screams echoing from the ruined stone walls. For centuries, everyone just assumed those were the cries of the trapped dark tantric Singya. But after diving into this explainer, we have to ask, are those the screams of the ancient monster, or are they the eternal screams of the foolish descendant who fell for the king's ancient trap? Think about that the next time you hear a story about a cursed ruin.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.